Hello, everybody, and welcome to this free warm-up webinar. It's a standalone thing, but I'll also be telling you about my masterclass, which is starting tomorrow. And it's about 9 creative keys. I'm going to give you 9 creative tips, hints, ideas, which will help take your creativity to the next level. So I'm Sab. I'm based in and around Paris, if you don't know me. Thanks for having a look at this. It's not exactly a masterclass, but it's not exactly not. So I'm warming up to my masterclass, my Infinite Creativity Masterclass, which starts tomorrow. Did it last year, doing it again this year. It'll be amazing. And I'm going to tell you about it today, interspersed with 9 + 1, what I call creativity keys. They're high-level ways of looking at being more creative and productive in order to be as creative as you would love to be. So this is what I'm going to be talking about. This is the masterclass. And before I look at any more of the masterclass, and you will have a bonus if you decide to join, a wonderful bonus, even better than the early bird price, I will give you 3 of my creativity keys. In case you're wondering who I am exactly, if you're not sure, well, I've kind of sold my soul to Paris. I adopted the Eiffel Tower about half a lifetime ago when I came to Paris, and I didn't leave. So I've spent half my life in Paris, originally from Britain. And it's a bit of a gimmick, but I kind of feel that the Eiffel Tower is my creative muse and that Paris is my artistic inspiration. And I spend half my time being as creative as I possibly can. And the other half of that time I spend helping others to be as creative as they possibly can. That's it. That's what I do. How do I do the helping others? Well, it's through my Facebook groups and through master classes and masterminds and coaching and stuff like that. How do I create? Well, I create photographs, text, so poetry, articles about Paris, about life, reflections, and the photographs are about Paris as well. And I paint. That's my creative thing. You know, there could be more. I'm always tempted to try and do more, but I've realized that the more you try to do, the less you do anything particularly well and particularly satisfyingly. So that's where I'm coming from. I've been creating for a very long time, and I'd like to share with you some of the things that I have realized over all of these years of being obsessed by creativity. This is my life's work. It's not going to go away. This is what I'm doing for the rest of my time on the planet, creating as much as I can and helping you to create as much as you can. So if that sounds good to you, if you would like to create more and produce more, because you know you can have the ideas, but you can't get it out there sometimes, stay with me. This might just be what you're looking for. So let me give you my first 3 of these creativity tips, these creativity keys. And the first one, it might sound, by the way, say hello, I'm live. So I think I seem to be live. So if you'd like to say hello in the chat, then say hello, and I will say hello to you back. I think I can see the chat from my Facebook profile. I'm not sure about probably the YouTube page as well, and maybe the Infinite Creativity Now Facebook group as well. Should be able to see chat from those 3 places, I hope. Okay, so here's the first one. And the first one, these are high-level things, and it might sound strange to you, but what is one of the most difficult things about creating something amazing that you can share and be proud of and that will influence other people's lives? Well, it's starting. Starting is incredibly difficult for many people. And that's strange. You know, why should it be so? Let me get rid of this. Don't want it to be advertising that all the time. Why should it be so difficult to start? Well, there's a lot of reasons. I must admit, I'm quite a good starter, but I'm not a very good finisher. But in many cases, we have a dream. We've had it for a long time, but it's a niggling little thing in the back of our mind. wouldn't it be nice if one day I'll, if only I could have the time, etc., etc. Well, starting is where it all begins. And one of the things I help you to do is just start. There's a lot of reasons why we sabotage ourselves and we don't start. They're almost all in our heads, to be honest, even though that if they seem to be real or imposed upon us by commitments and family and such like, to be honest, most of them are in our heads. We could find the time, and I help you to realize how to do that. So that's the first one. Just start. And as soon as you start, it's amazing. Things flow. It might be that starting is 80% of the whole effort you have to put in. You never know. Here's number 2 in my creativity keys. This one is very important, and it's something we all do and we can't not do. But if we become aware of the fact that we're doing it, we can minimize it greatly. And it's don't compare. Don't compare yourself to other people. We do this. It's automatic. We're taught to compare ourselves with other people from the word go, from the word time, the moment we're, well, not quite the moment we're born, but as soon as we get into any sort of, brothers and sisters, any sort of educational system, we are comparing, we are graded. You have the best in the class, you have the sort of average, and of course you have the bottom, the worst, what a terrible word, especially for creative stuff, the worst in the class, because you're being graded, you're being compared. Creativity doesn't work like that. It's a complete waste of time to compare one person's creation to another. There may be times when it can be useful, it can be interesting, and we can learn from things like that. But on the whole, as adults, as we're trying to get our stuff out there, our feelings out there, our creative spirit, our emotions, comparing is pointless. You've just got to get your stuff out there. How can you compare what you produce to what someone else produces when no one has lived your life? And no one is using the same tools to get that stuff out there. You will have your own individual, unique way of expressing yourself, and you have certainly had and led, up until now, your own completely unique life. So I'm not a fan of comparing, and I will nip it in the bud and get you to move on past that. We have modules in the masterclass. We have units on this sort of thing. Ideas and ways of looking at things to get you past the dreaded comparison, even though it happens, and it still happens. Okay, here's the third one, the third of my creativity keys. And this is a nice one, because this is how you get anything done. This is how you finish things. And it's daily drips, folks. A drip is a little thing. It's a blip, blip, blip. But if you do enough of those daily drip blips, you'll fill a bucket pretty quickly. If you want to write a 365-page book, well, if your drip is a daily page, you'll do it in a year. If you want to do a rather complex painting, which I did recently, your daily drips might be another little layer here, adding a couple of elements there, working on a certain detail over here, and it gets done. I will actually show you. I hadn't planned to do this, but I will show you. How can I do this? I'm going to share my screen. I'm just going to go to my one of my art sites. This one's called 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 infini, infini2.com. That's French for infinity. And this is something, I'm going to show you something. It's a very complex painting, but I did it quite quickly. And the way I did it quite quickly is because I did a little bit almost every day. Not every day, but almost every day. The painting itself, the finished painting, looks like this. My paintings have this characteristic that there's no beginning and no end. In other words, if you took the left-hand side there and attached it to the right-hand side, the painting continues on with absolutely no break whatsoever in any of the patterns. And the same thing with the top. If you look at the top there, that top line, you see that road, for example, going off there, this railway goes off there, and you look at the bottom, they all come in, they join, not just the railway and the road, but everything, every single pattern, every single word, it all joins up. There's no beginning and no end. It's kind of complex. and how on earth, you can't imagine. There are layers underneath everything you can see here. There are even layers underneath that, preparatory layers. I did it. And I'm the world's worst finisher. Maybe the world's best beginner, starter, and the world's worst finisher. But that doesn't get you anywhere. It leaves you with a very unsatisfactory flavor in your mouth of dissatisfaction, and you haven't affected anybody's lives. So I've forced myself to realize finishing is great. It really is good, even if you have to sacrifice some other false starts. So that's an example of, you can see the detail on just one of these panels. And here's me holding 1/9 of my painting. That's 1/9. So that is the third one, daily drips. By the way, say hello if you're watching. I'd love to know who you are. You can say hello as well. I can't always see who you are. And, what have you created recently? That's my question to you. What have you created recently? I'm going to show you the first part of my masterclass promo page. It's starting tomorrow. I'd love you to join at amazing, amazing discount because you're watching this. That means you're in my creativity circles. And something else that's coming up, I'll just tell you, is that in my 3 creativity groups, so I've got one for all sorts of creativity, one for photography, and one for writing. In each of those groups, I'm starting up again a weekly live, a bit like this. And there'll be a weekly theme. I'm choosing the same theme across the 3 groups. So, for example, this theme for this week, I'm going to do love. Okay, it's a cliche, but hey, it's fun. It's nice. So love is the theme for this week in all 3 groups. So for the next week, you can contribute. If you're really into photography, go to the photography group. You're really into writing, go to the writing group. If you have another way of expressing yourself creatively, or you want to contribute your photos to a group where other people are contributing other things, not just photos, go to the creativity group. So that's fun. So let me move on to the first part of the masterclass page, which I'd love to introduce you to. So it's about getting your creative project done in 9 fun weeks. Remember, I'm giving you an amazing bonus. In fact, I'll tell you right away. You can see here it says click to join, and you can see here it says coupon code early bird. Don't use that. Please don't use that. I've got a better deal for you. If you click on any of these buttons that bounce up and down, you see that orange one there, then you go to this page. And this page, if you type in the coupon code friend, you see I've done it there, done it down here. That automatically takes a huge amount off, much better than the early bird price even. And that is the lowest it's possible to do. You can invite friends afterwards, 2 for the price of 1. Once you've joined up, honestly, it's going to be amazing. I ran it last year. It was amazing. People created fantastic stuff that they've never created before. Let me show you some of the ideas behind this. Look at the red here. It says, are your ideas amazing, but you struggle to finish anything? In fact, you often struggle to even start anything, and it's frustrating as heck. Join Dynamic Starter and Finisher, Sabwill, that would be me, to get your creative project done in 9 fun weeks. And there's a bit of a spoiler alert. Fun is part of one of my creativity keys. So it's completing a fantastic project and learning how to bring any creative idea to fruition in 9 exciting weeks. There isn't a program like this out there. There are programs on creativity, of course there are. In fact, there's a certain type that I love. I've done a couple of times. But the thing is, it's more about exploring your creativity and seeing what happens. And if something happens, great. If nothing happens, that's okay too. And this sort of program is wonderful. But my program isn't like that. My program is the antidote to that. So if you've ever felt a bit frustrated on creativity programs, because it was fun, you learned some new techniques, but you didn't really finish anything. That frustrated me. So this is the antidote. On this, we are absolutely focused on finishing a really cool creative project in 9 weeks. We do it together as a group. I'm there with you all the time. We have fantastic videos to learn techniques. As you'll see later on, there's a wonderful structure. It's all based on positive psychology, gamification. We have fun. And honestly, the things you can produce in 9 weeks are amazing. You will amaze yourself. So let me just chug down here a little bit more. There's a mission statement. Yeah, it's like you're going on a mission and you accept it if you start the masterclass. That's part of the deal. By the way, you can't fail the masterclass. It's not possible. Even if you take more than the 9 weeks, it's not a problem. You know, we're adults here. Nothing's going to happen. But if you want that drive, if you want to get that thing done in 9 weeks and you've been waiting for the excuse and the structure to do it in, this is it. This is it. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to become a creative and productive wizard as you define, develop, and deliver a fantastic, finished, imaginative project of your choice in 9 exciting weeks. You bring the project to your great satisfaction and your family's, friends, and colleagues' genuine admiration. It is a bring a project thing. So I'll tell you a little bit about that later. I'm not sure if I get to it here. No, I don't think so. There's a section on this page. It says, is this right for you? And there are some reasons when it is and others when it's not. And I'll get to that in a second. So this section here goes into the ethos of this program, why I created it. It's for people who have great ideas, amazing ideas, but they just can't finish. And it's so frustrating. And it's irritating because you want to get your stuff out there because you know others will be impacted by it. For me, creativity doesn't stop when you've created it. That's part of a cycle. I call it the creativity cycle, where you create, you share, and then you get feedback from your sharing and you learn from that. I mean, I don't know if I've invented it, but this is, I call it SAB's creativity cycle. You can see that. Create, then you share. I can't do a circle backwards. Then you learn from what happens from your sharing, and it goes around like that. So there's that. Let's destroy some false beliefs. These are important. Things like you need an official diploma. You need to have been born artistic. No. You need years of experience. No, you absolutely don't. You need expensive materials. No, you need to work in the arts or the media area. No, absolutely not. The truth is far more exciting. You only need about 3 things, and we've all got them. No, not necessarily. Let's see what you think. The first one is an openness to new possibilities and a lively imagination. I mean, if you don't have that, or you don't feel that you have, if you don't feel you have, I might be able to convince you that you actually have. If that sentence doesn't interest you, doesn't excite you, then this might not be for you. The everyday tools you already have in your home. So, you know, this isn't for someone who hasn't got a clue what to do. This program requires you to come with a reasonable idea of what you'd like to do. The first week is a relaxing, well, it's an exciting, but it's a low stress getting into the program week where you define your thing. You define what it's going to be. So it doesn't have to be crystal clear, but you can't really come with nothing, with no idea of what your creative thing is. That's not quite it. Otherwise, we could take too much time working on that. So you come with an idea. You know, it could be like, I want to create a photo book of my nature photos. I want to put together a book of grandma's recipes for once and for all. I want to write a book of motivational stories. Something like that. You've got the idea, but it's been floating around for far too long. Come on this thing, we'll get it done and sorted. And yeah, the tools you have, you've already got them. You know, if you have any interest in, and you've done a little bit of what you want to work on as your project, you've got what you need. You know what you need, I don't. In the photography stuff, yeah, I know what people need. And in the writing thing, yes, I know how to write articles or blog blog thing, posts, or, very short stories or memes or poetry. Yeah, I know a bit about that. In this case, you bring your project. It's a bring a project party. And part of the amazing fun of this is that I have no idea what people are going to bring. And that's just so cool. And the last thing is a desire to learn basic and advanced methods through an exciting, fun approach. Yes, that's what you need. All right. So what's next there? Yeah, let me, before I give you my next 3 creativity keys, let me tell you about this. It's 2 trainings in one. On the one hand, you're learning skills and approaches to be as creative and productive as you'd love to be for the rest of your life on any project. And on the other hand, you're actually finishing a project. So the 2 go hand in hand. As you're learning new techniques, you're putting them into practice on your project. So it's both learning ideas and being practically putting them into practice. So let's go back to my next. It's really hot in here. I'm going to turn the heating down. I'm roasting. How are you doing? Say hello in the chat. If you're watching the replay, say hello. I'd love to know who you are and how you're doing. So here are the next 3. So number 4 is, this is another very important concept. I have eliminated the F word from my vocabulary. What is the F word? It's fail. It's failure. And this is one of the most harmful concepts you can have. The idea that you can fail. In creativity, you can't fail because by definition, you're trying to create something that hasn't existed before. And how can you fail if you try? Only success is what I'm looking at. That's the only way of looking at things I accept, really, because failure is irrelevant. It's not relevant. It literally, you don't fail. If you try to ride a bike and you fall off it, have you failed? Of course not. You've learned one other thing not to do. So I have an only success policy. And another way of looking at that is this. If you try, you've succeeded. If you don't try, you haven't failed. Remember, I've eliminated it from my vocabulary. If you were paying attention 30 seconds ago, you haven't failed, you just haven't tried. And that's a choice. And maybe you didn't try because you didn't have time, or you didn't want to, or you changed your mind. That's not a problem. You're free to do whatever you like. But are you satisfied with not trying? Are you satisfied with not even having a go? That's for you to decide. And I'm looking for people who want to have a go. And when you have a go, for me, you succeed. The definition of succeeding is having a go and trying to do something you haven't done before and seeing what happens. And what does happen? Well, in the majority of cases, you're pleased with the result, and other people think it's good too because you've tried to do something new. Great, everybody loves that. And if it's not exactly what you expected, well, you've tried, which is good, pat on the back, you tried, you had a go, and you learn. And sometimes, even if it's not what you expected, it's actually something you prefer, or you're pleased with it anyway. So I'm not into the F word. It's gone from my vocabulary. I'll remove it from yours. And only success is an option on my masterclass. And anyone working with me in my creative Facebook groups, one-on-one coaching, in the masterclasses, in masterminds, failure is not an option. The F word is out of here. So I hope you get what I'm on about. Number 5. This one is think big. Think big, folks. What do I mean by that? I'm turning into a tomato. I think it's because it's really hot in here. I put the heating on thinking it was going to be cold. And in fact, it's hot. So I'm not normally this color. I don't think so anyway. Think big. Maybe it's the excitement. Think big about your project. There's this cliched phrase you often see, and it always makes me groan a bit. It's the one, if you aim for the moon, if you don't hit it, you'll arrive in the stars or something. Well, to be honest, that's not quite true, because the stars are a lot further away than the moon. But the point is, you aim high. And if you aim high, you set a big objective, a big goal. Even if you don't reach it, you will go much further and far surpass a smaller goal that you might have set. If you set a smaller goal, you'll only be reaching for a maximum of that. And you probably won't get there, and you'll just get, halfway to that. But you may well get halfway to practically any goal you set, because halfway seems fine. On my program, which is absolutely based on positive psychology, gamification, having fun, you set 3 goals. You set a normal goal, which is the one you expect to do, the one you expect to finish at the end of the masterclass if everything goes according to plan. Okay, that's like the middle goal. The middle goal. I'm not making any rude signs, am I? No. The middle goal is the one you expect to reach if everything goes according to plan. What if things don't go according to plan? Life happens, someone has an accident, or, your boss asks you to do a bit more work. Okay, well, you set an easier goal. This is the normal goal, the middle goal. You set an easy goal. So, for example, say you want to create a booklet of new photography. You've got a new camera, you want to create a lovely printed book of photography you want to give to your family next Christmas, or a calendar. Maybe you imagine your middle goal is going to be 4 new photographs a week. If you're having trouble reaching that, well, go for 1 photograph a week. Make your easy goal 1 photograph a week. You're finished with 9 beautiful photographs. On the other hand, what about if things are going great? You just can't stop taking photographs, or whatever it is you're doing, the same thing, the equivalent. You just can't stop. Instead of writing, 500 words a day, you're writing 1,000. You're doubling what you expected. This is where this goal comes in. This is the stretch goal, the mega goal, the amazing goal. Wouldn't it be amazing? Probably not possible, but just imagine if it could be. That's your third one. That's the top goal. So the point is, wherever you are, you've got a goal to go for, and you've got a safety net, because this terrible, the F word, well, you've set yourself a really easy goal. By the way, if for some reason you can't even reach the easy goal, I'm still with you. I'm still going to look after you until you reach a goal or reach a result that you're happy with. So think big. Here comes number 6. Then I'm going to show you a little bit more about my masterclass, which starts tomorrow. You can join with an amazing coupon code is FRIEND for the masterclass. Let me show you the address for that. If you go to infinitecreativitynow.com /create, then you can find that, infinitecreativitynow.com /create, and check that out. Number 6 is, it's kind of a double whammy. There's 2 in 1. It's amuse yourself, or amuse yourself. The first key word there is yourself. Do your creativity for you. Do something that you are really excited about doing. Don't make it for other people. Even if you think that it might be more acceptable, even if you think you might have more chances of success if you did what somebody else suggested, don't do that. I mean, you can do it sometimes, but as a rule, starting off, go for something you are passionate about, however weird or crazy or unlikely to succeed you think you are. Doesn't matter. Go for that. Because when people look at your work, because you share, remember, in the creativity cycle, these are all equal. Create, share, and learn. They're all equal. So creating, for me, is nothing if you can't get it out there and share it with others. So when you share it with others, they will know if it's come from your heart. They will feel it. They'll feel it in what they see and in how you talk about it. The more unique it is, the more powerful it is, because the closer it is to the true you. And that's what art is about. It's about exposing the true you to others in a way which is utterly unique to you. We're trying to touch others. When we create anything and share, we're trying to touch others. We're trying to make a connection. We're trying to move people emotionally. And you don't do that if you do some cookie cutter thing you've bought somewhere telling you, do this, 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 and it'll probably be a success. No, that's not how it works with me, with creativity. That's why I said don't compare yourself to anyone. That's a disaster recipe. So do it for yourself. And the people who are attracted to the true you will see you, and they'll find you, and you'll find your people, your audience, who will then create themselves and inspire you in turn. It's a lovely cycle. And then there's amuse yourself. This is another thing. I think it's really fun to have a muse, and I've got a muse. This is it. This is my muse. It's the Eiffel Tower. Okay, it's maybe it's a bit silly, but I moved to France half a lifetime ago. I'm 56, so we're talking 28 years in France. And the Eiffel Tower has become my muse, my creative muse. Paris is my artistic inspiration. It inspires all of my stuff in one way or the other. Now, I'm not saying that you need to move to Paris, but finding a muse of any sort is really fun, and it can actually help. It can be cool. You can have a magical stone, a beautiful stone or a shell that you think calls to you, speaks to you somehow. You could have a picture of someone you respect deeply in terms of what it is you're trying to do. And there's many ways of doing it. And if you imagine that you have a muse, you can talk to them. You can ask them to inspire you. You can could be your teddy bear or your cat if you like. What about a cat? That'd be an amazing muse. You can even shout at them. I don't recommend taking out your true irritation or frustration on them if they're a living creature, but even punching a teddy wouldn't be very nice. But if you've got something that can help you concretize, manifest, something that can move you along, that can be fun. There's many of these techniques to get you in the creative groove and moving along nicely. So that's number 6. So let me show you the next part of the promo page for the masterclass, which starts tomorrow. The Infinite Creativity Now Masterclass. There it is. Sab's unique Infinite Creativity Now Masterclass starts on the 14th of February. That's tomorrow. And you can get to it if you go to infinitecreativitynow.com/create. So here is the next section. After 2 great trainings in one, this is the structure of the masterclass. There are 5 modules. Let me bring this back to here. So there are 5 modules. That way, is that okay? The first module is 1 week. The second module is 2 weeks. The third module is 3 weeks. Okay, 1, then 2, then 3. The fourth module is 2 weeks long, and the fifth module is 1 week long. So that's psychologically very powerful, because it's like climbing a mountain and then freewheeling down the other side, because you've suddenly acquired a magical bicycle. Once you've got to the top, at the 3 weeks one, it's plain sailing. Now we're in a boat, and it's all downhill from now on. Okay, it's a boat on wheels riding downhill. And you also have break weeks. This is psychologically very good, because after 3 weeks, it's pretty heavy going. You've got a break week. Then you do the third module, the biggie, and then you've got a break week, and then you do the last 2 modules. So it's 3 weeks, break week, 3 weeks, break week, 3 weeks, and you're done. And let me show you roughly, not the details, you can read it on the page. Module 1 is the intro module. Module 5 is the consolidation module. So it's only the 3 modules in the middle, which are the guts of the program, the core of the program. And you can look at them in terms of module 2 is, you could say, elementary. Module 3 is intermediate, and module 4 is advanced. This is the only creativity program I think you'll ever need. From here, you'll know where to go to find other stuff. That's my objective with all of my masterclasses, the writing, the photography, and the creativity. That's my objective. This is the only one you'll ever need to do. So I won't go into details on those, but you can see the titles. The first one is Discover the Joy of Creativity. Get ready to shine, preparatory stuff. Pack your creator's toolbox. It does tell you about the topics. You see, like, for example, in the first module, we're looking at finding real purpose in what you do anchoring that purpose with a significant meaning. What is it that you do? Why do you do it? Crafting and declaring your personal creative mission. That's a really powerful thing. Have you got one? Have you found a pleasing purpose and meaning in life? Well, this could be it. This could be the time that it happens for you. Module 2, getting ready to shine. We're looking at managing our time and ourselves, optimizing techniques, goal setting. It's a big topic, and there are mixed ideas on and points of view on goal setting. Absolutely. I myself have mixed ideas. I present some of those ideas to you. The priceless power of habits. I create a Paris photograph and I write a text every single day. That's become a habit for me, like brushing my teeth. Motivation and discipline, rituals, mantras, clarity. Really great module. Module 3, the biggie, is packing your creator's toolbox. I give you a ton of stuff to help you be as creative and productive as possible, including really powerful stuff like brainstorming, going public with your stuff, talking about little wins, mind mapping, and techniques for getting amazing brainstorming ideas out there. The creator's journey, which is a bit like the hero's journey, and beating creators' so-called block, and all sorts of stuff, and dealing with finishing. That's a biggie. And then module 4 is the advanced stuff. It's getting more theoretical. It's getting more, out there. Where do ideas come from? Stimulating your imagination, where we fit into the universe, insights, intuition. So, it's kind of those a little bit far out topics, but to be honest, those are the powerful ones. Those are the ones that take our writing or our photography or our creativity of any sort to the next level. It's a magic, invisible ingredient that can't be taught, but it can be helped. Getting out of your own way. That's another topic in that. And then the last one is presenting your project and graduating, because I give you a beautiful certificate when you finish. You get some bonuses, and in fact, I'm adding to these. I've just thought of a few more. There's a one-on-one coaching session, which is worth quite a lot of money, but more than the money, it's absolutely priceless in terms of the motivation and the clarity I can give you to see where you are now, to imagine where you want to go, and to understand how you can get there, what sort of steps you need to take, and the motivation and the push and the inspiration to take those steps. It's easy to know what to do, but it's not so easy to do it. That's what individual coaching is about, which is what I do a lot of my time with as well. Packing your creative toolbox. There's some more creative stuff from my archives, and this is something that I'm working on throughout my life, actually. Metaphors for life, metaphors for creativity. I publish a lot of memes which are inspirational, and even more stuff that I've thought of recently and I haven't put in on this page. Personal contact is everything. We meet up every week live on Zoom, and you're also in a pod which changes from time to time. After each break week, the pod changes. So you're with 2 or 3 other students, and you share your successes, you boost each other, you encourage each other to get your assignments in for the Sunday, because you're moving towards something each week to finish after 9 weeks. So obviously each week you need to complete what you decided you wanted to complete to reach your goal. There's a private mastermind group, and there's a post mastermind group call as well, so that we check in a couple of weeks afterwards or a few weeks afterwards to see how things are going. Now the Infinite Creativity Mastermind Masterclass is absolutely right for you if you have a clear creative project you want to complete in 9 weeks. You can make it clear in the first week, but don't come with nothing. You need to come with something that you're passionate about. Along the lines of photography, painting, poetry, cooking, knitting, something like this, something that what you want to work on. And in the first week, you can hammer it out and decide what it's going to look like, what you're going to do each of those 9 weeks to hand in on the Sunday, even symbolically hand in like a photo of it, to get to your mission accomplished after 9 weeks. Here's a few more. You can read yourself. You're dynamic, enthusiastic, and ready to forge ahead on your goal. You have 9 weeks to commit a few hours a week to getting your project completed this time, all the other times you didn't. Now, that might sound a lot, 9 weeks, but this is my life's work. This master class is everything you need. Commit to it for 9 weeks, plus the 2 break weeks in the middle, don't forget. Commit to it for those 9 weeks. Why wouldn't you? That's why you're on this class. And in 9 weeks, you will have an example of you having succeeded, you having finished something amazing, and that will drive you forward for the future. So, in fact, you should be excited about committing a few hours a week to your creative project. This is what you wanted, isn't it? If you join the masterclass, this should be what you want. Just there's a few more. You think you could go faster alone, but you will go far further together. You would love to make a real difference in other people's lives through your work, and so on. There is another section, and that is this masterclass isn't right for you if. This is important because you need to be sure that this is right for you. If you have no idea what creative project to tackle, this isn't right for you. You need to have something you're already passionate or excited about. You need a few hours a week. You've got videos to watch, you've got assignments to do, you've got people to support. So it's a thing. This is a thing that you're embarking on, and so on. All right, let me give you the next. That's me. I'll tell you about me in a second. I think I maybe already have. So let's come back to the last 3. And the number 7 plus 1 was a bonus. I like the number 9. So instead of saying that there are 10 creativity keys, there are 9 plus 1. And this one is a biggie as well, really a biggie. Fear's fine. Fear is okay. What do I mean by that? Well, it seems to me that we only really have one fear. I mean, you could say I'm a bit worried about something, but I mean fear. We only really have one fear, and that's a deeply primordial fear. Primordial fear that hasn't changed since the days when we were being chased by saber-toothed tigers. When fear comes up, the body can't distinguish between being on the point of being eaten by a savage animal and being late for a meeting, for example. It can't distinguish. If the stimuli are there, boom, it gives us its fear reaction, which has us sweating, which has us tense, heart beating. We're either going to run, or we're going to attack, or we're going to freeze in a sort of state of panic. And that's not good if you do it on a regular basis. And when you create, you expose yourself. You could say you expose your soul when you create something and share it. Even when you're creating, before you've shared it, you can be fearful because you know that the sharing is coming. People are waiting to see it, for example. But this is wrong. You see, you're not on the point of losing your life to a wild animal, and even if, normally people love when people share their creativity with them. It's an honor when someone shares their creativity with me, an honor for me. So most of the fears that we have are unfounded as well, as not really, not being suitable for the level of worry that we're, to. Public speaking is a big one, isn't it? They say that many people are extremely fearful of public speaking. But what happens if you're talking about something you're interested in, something you're passionate about that the people listening to you don't know? Well, best case scenario, they're going to love it. They're going to be really interested. Worst case scenario, they might see that you're a little bit nervous or that you stutter. But who cares? You're not going to die. They're not going to eat you. They're not saber-toothed tigers. So fear is normally hugely displaced, disproportionate. So fear is fine. Fear is great. It means you're pushing yourself. It means you are trying something new. So you're a little bit nervous, and you're probably right to be. But there's a couple of different types of fear. One is fear because you genuinely think you're in massive danger of really being hurt or something really bad happening. Another type of fear is nervousness because you're doing something important and you want it to be as good as possible. You don't want to fail. So that sort of fear is pretty good because the things that come from fear, like increased adrenaline, heartbeat, you're more attentive, you're focused. This is good. This is good stuff because it makes you perform better. So I say fear is fine. We either need to redefine fear and call it something else, call it anticipation or excitement, or simply say fear is fine. It means I'm doing something important. This is important to me. I hope it'll have an impact on others, and I'm going to do my best. That's number 7. Number 8 is a very important word for me. And for example, I've got a English, for English learners, I've got a site. It's called Fun English Lessons. Fun is a big part of positive psychology. It's one of the ways the brain learns and does its best work is when it's enjoying itself. It doesn't mean laughing. It means enjoying itself. And it's have fun. Remember why you're doing this. Okay, you might say that your work that you're paid for might not be fun. You might consider that it's not much fun. But if you're doing something like this on a creative class, this should be your passion. This should be what you're excited about. So if you're getting stressed about this, that's kind of silly. So nothing bad is going to happen. Say you're going to take up drawing. Well, take up drawing, do some drawing. And it doesn't matter what happens. You're a beginner. Why should it look any good? Why should it look like the real thing? But it might still look fun. And you've never done it before. So well done. Well done for putting some lines on a page. So have fun. This is a good thing that you're doing. If you commit to the masterclass, for example, or any sort of creative project, a 3-day challenge I did recently in my group, create something new for 3 days. Well, it could be clicking a camera thing and creating a photograph. That's fine. It's fun. So remember, the whole thing is to enjoy your life and to enjoy the current activity that you're working on. So have fun as often as you possibly can. And finally plus the bonus one. This is the flip side of number 1. Do you remember number 1? Number 1, my creativity key number 1 was just start. So guess what number 9 is? Just finish. Those are 2 biggies. And sometimes finishing is just as hard as starting, if not more so. It depends on the person. I'm a great starter, terrible finisher. Other people, can you be a poor starter but a great finisher? I don't know. But finishing is tough for a lot of different reasons. There's a lot of psychological things going on. For example, the fear of, a few of my other tips will come in here. The fear of failing, right? So there's 2 there. Fear that people will laugh at us, that it won't be as good as we wanted, of failing. This idea that failing is actually a thing, that it really exists. It doesn't exist. But this idea that failing being a thing, we might fail. And that's not good. It's like failing an exam, black and white. You either fail or you don't, or you succeed. Creativity isn't like that. Finishing is succeeding. So in the masterclass, we have a lot of material about finishing, helping you finish, helping you push through, of course, the middle, helping you start, helping you push through, and helping you finish. It's all in the masterclass. There are units, lessons, videos on all of these topics, including a very powerful one on just finishing. And it's not that easy on your own sometimes. That's why, as a group, it's so much more powerful. I will give you one more at the end after I finish showing you my masterclass page. This is me. I've been creating stuff for as long as I can remember. Always, we are all creative. Don't get me wrong. There's no difference between me and you. We're all creative. Creating is easy. Creating is normal. People make it out to be a huge thing. Okay, I'm doing a masterclass on it. But, sometimes I think it's a bit of a joke. All I want to do is release the creativity, the creative potential, and the genius that is already in you. I'm not giving it to you. I don't have it. You have it. But it might be stuck. It needs help coming out. Think of a little kid. They have no problems whatsoever taking a crayon and drawing pretty patterns all over the white kitchen wall. They didn't think twice about it, and they're very pleased with their results. Unfortunately, the parents are often not so pleased, and that's the beginning of your creativity being slapped down. and but think before the parents saw it and had a fright. That was pure creativity. It's in us. We don't have a choice. We are creative beings. I equate creativity with living, with feeling alive. When I create and share something, I feel more alive than at any other time. So why am I talking about that? I was just showing you my, so this is, I've been creating as long as I can remember, can't not do it. I'm obsessed by it. This is my life's mission that I've decided to take on, to spend half my life creating as much as I can and half my life helping others to create as much as they would love to create. So if you're one of those people, please join me. I'm here for you. We need to surround ourselves by people who do stuff that we like to do and, inspire us. And I look for people like that in my life. So I invite you to look for people like that in your life so that you are pulled up to higher levels of potential and creativity in your life. Okay, I'll just go through the last bit quickly. It's based on, I've not only have I created a ton of stuff, but I've looked deeply into the psychology of creating and producing stuff, and it's all based on getting you to do these. All of these things are incorporated into the program, into the masterclass. The masterclass site is completely designed to inspire you, to not let you get left behind, to look after you, to celebrate your little wins when you finish something each time. It's all incorporated into the program. This is a bring a project party, as I said. So you bring your project and we help you get it done. And there's some more stuff there. There's feedback from people. Okay, here's Dorothy, who created some amazing photo collages in the last program. Here's Christina from Scotland, who invented an amazing new creative way of expressing herself with her words on top of her images. Here's Rob. He's a musician. He worked on new compositions whilst we were together. This is 𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗔𝗧𝗜𝗓, who finished a book on inspirational stories. And here is Laurel. There's more, but I didn't have space. Here's Laurel, who from Australia, who created an entire book outline for a book based on her childhood and her experiences of that time. So wonderful things happen on the masterclass. This section, frequently asked questions. There's a lot of stuff in there that you might find interesting. And here are the dates. We start on the 14th of February. You can join in the following week, but start as soon as you possibly can. And click on any of these buttons here. Go to this page. Don't enter the coupon code early bird. Enter the coupon code friend, and you will get the best possible offer for this amazing masterclass. And I have a personal success guarantee. The way it works is this. I want people coming on this masterclass to want to finish something amazing. If there's an instant money back guarantee, I get that. It's great if that's your thing. The thing is, my thing is creativity and productivity based on passion and almost a need to create. It's stronger than, in French there's an expression, c'est plus fort que moi. It's stronger than me. I just can't help myself. I have to do it. But sometimes we have these blocks. And there are certain things which are extremely demotivating. And just letting you have your money back like that is one of them. And I'm just saying that I could do this, but it's demotivating for you. It's demotivating for me. It just doesn't help. It's called putting some skin in the game. You invest in yourself. It's only yourself, remember. You invest in yourself and you push through and you are pleased with the result. You don't want to stop this program before the end. Not this one, not this time, not again. So my personal success guarantee is far, far more powerful than the type I just mentioned. And that is, I will stick with you until you have produced a result you are happy with. It doesn't matter if it goes over the 9 weeks, no problem. Of course, the program is structured to get you to mission accomplished after 9 weeks. If you don't, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. We're grown-ups. But I will stick with you. If you want it, I will stick with you personally to help you get to your personal mission accomplished, however long it takes. And let me give you my last creativity key. Then I will finish by reading this page here. So my last creativity key is this: love problems. And again, problems is one of those words like fear, like failure. It's kind of a misnomer, because a problem is only a problem if you decide to call it so. A problem is a challenge. A problem is, within the problem are the seeds of the solution. The problem gives you the impetus, the motivation to find a solution, to move forward, to grow, to learn. Problems are great, in fact, because they are ways of growing. Without challenges, we wouldn't grow. We would just sit on the sofa all day. If we don't set ourselves challenges, sometimes life does, but what about if we take our destiny into our own hands and we set ourselves challenges? You could say that doing a masterclass is giving yourself a big problem, but that sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Because doing a masterclass is exciting. It's a challenge. It's something that you're going to be proud of at the end. So why call anything a problem? Anything that happens that we have to think about, work out how we're going to do it, get around it, go over it, under it, through it, smash it, well, that's going to make us grow. So look for problems, because that means you're growing. That means you're pushing yourself. And when you move out of that famous comfort zone and feel a little bit less comfortable, you're growing because you're learning new skills. Love problems, look for problems, because then you will do what most people don't do. And you won't be the same as others, because you're not. And let me finish finally with this last page here. And this page, I'll make it bigger. So this page is just to kind of sum up the whole ethos. A wee word afore you go. That's Scottish. The accent isn't. I was born in Scotland. Action. For things to change for the better, like defining, developing, and delivering an amazing creative project. For example, we need to take action. Of course, that's obvious. And we feel great when we do. But sometimes it's so hard to take the first step, even when we really want to. Now, there's a time for inaction. There's a time for reflecting, for going for a walk in the woods, for letting the muse speak, for relaxing, for meditating. Of course there is. But without action, nothing's going to happen. Or if it does happen, you haven't got a clue what it's going to be. Action is where everything starts. I encourage you, if this masterclass, my 9+1 creative keys have sparked something in you, if they have spoken to you, I encourage you, if you feel this is right for you, to take action now and sign up. Take action for you and sign up for my unique Infinite Creativity Now masterclass. The alternative is to do nothing. It's not to fail. If you sign up for this class, I already think that you've succeeded in taking a massive step. But if you don't, you haven't failed. You just have decided to do nothing or to do something else. And that's okay. You know, I'm not here to tell you how to lead your life, but it's fine as long as it's fine for you. You know, as long as you're happy with that. But are you happy with inaction? Are you happy with not working on your dream project yet again? I mean, it might seem like nothing bad is happening because you're not working on your project. You're just not working on it. But it's kind of the opportunity lost. Imagine in 9 weeks, you could have proven to yourself that you are an amazing creative person, proven in a way that you can show others, hey, look at this. This is the results of my project and my next project. But you're almost too excited about your next project to even focus on the one you've just finished. That's the way it goes. What do you do when you finish a really cool creative project or a creative day? If you're a creative person, you're immediately thinking of the next day and the next project. That's the way it goes. We don't rest on our laurels. Sorry about that, Laurel, who is one of my enthusiastic masterclass participants. Sorry to use your name in such a strange way. Okay, so My people are dynamic action takers, and I'd love you to be one of them. I don't want you to miss out. Don't miss the boat this Valentine's Day 2022. And don't regret not sailing off on this voyage of discovery with a group of enthusiastic folks full of ideas just waiting to surge forth on the seas we're navigating. All ships rise on the same tide, the same creative tide, and there are only winners. If you've read this far and stayed with me this far, then this is probably for you. So I invite you to click on any of these buttons, go to this page, type in friend, here it is, friend in the coupon code box, and get an absolutely amazing price on this. Wonderful investment in yourself. Do it. Forget New Year's resolutions and stuff. Start on Valentine's Day and make this an amazing beginning to the year. So I have been Sab. Let me just show you once more. That's where you go to get that page, infinitecreativitynow.com/create. I've been going for an hour. Thanks for watching. Say hello in the chat if you have anything to say and any questions, no problem at all. And I can't wait to get going on this. Sign up as soon as you can because we're starting tomorrow. You can sign up during the following week. And let's see what we can create in the next few weeks together, if you choose to join me. So I'm Sab in Paris. Thanks for watching. And don't forget also that I have creative groups, which will be running each week. And there'll be a new theme each week, the same theme across the different groups. The photography group, the writing group, and the any sort of creativity group will have the same theme. I thought I would do this to save my head from exploding completely and to see the different interpretations on the same theme. And I will do a live each week. I'm planning each week for each group. So that's 3 lives talking specifically about the topic, what you have created in those groups. And that is all free. So join my community, whatever you do, and let's have fun creating together. So happy creating, everyone, and talk to you very soon. Bye for now.